That Niner guy says, why are so many people comfortable talking so much crap about Lance? Really looking forward to Trey. Maybe it was reverse psychology. Haha. Why do you think so many people are so comfortable talking about a player they really haven't seen much of?
Because there's no he's coming from the FCS and he's coming from North Dakota State. There's not a lot of collegiate film out there. We can't point to bowl games and high profile TV games where we parked our carcass on the couch and watched it and saw Trey dominate. So there's not as much not as many people totally believe in Trey because they haven't seen him succeed at the collegiate level. And then I just also think because he looked, in that Arizona game, he took a lot of hits. He really looked like he held the ball a long time. And I just think overall, there's a lot of unknowns anytime you're talking about an FCS quarterback.
I'm a little more cynical, though. I feel like there's a lot of mystery and intrigue here because people are talking about it and they haven't seen him play. And I think people figured out if you have a little bit of a platform and you need views, you want people to watch you. Say that the Niners are making a big mistake at quarterback. Say that Trey Lance is a bust and they should hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo. That's juicy. And anyone who says that pretty much gets a lot of attention this offseason, whether or not you're working for ESPN or you're a former scout or you're whoever. If you have information, someone told you, you could see something, people are listening and they're mad and you get a lot of attention. I think it's like the third rail of NFL coverage this offseason, the Trey Lance topic, saying he's not going to be good. I don't know.
Well, there's a ton of curiosity. I will say this. I wasn't planning on going to the mini camp. Then at the last second, I hooked up my credential, went to the mini camp. Man, as soon as I put on social media that I had been at the mini camp and that I had actually put my eyes on Trey Lance, I was getting requests from every Niner blogger, podcaster, YouTuber, IG, live people. I mean, everybody wanted to talk to me that week. And it was all because there's so many unknowns and there's so few eyes on it and people just want to know. I think, and I agree with you. I don't think that's cynical, Grant. I don't think you're being cynical. I think you're being realistic. If you park your car at Trey Lance Way and Jimmy Garoppolo Avenue, man, you're going to get hits and traction and that equals dollars. And so that's what brought Mike Silver to the party. And that's what brought Colin Cowherd to the party. Cowherd had a video 2 weeks before the Silver thing where he basically said it's time for the 49ers to switch gears from Garoppolo to Lance. Well, they had already said they were going to, so it was a total non-story. Why do the video, Colin? Well, you do the video because it gets lots of hits. You get lots of hits, you get lots of traction, you make money.
Here's the thing. We've both watched him practice, though. And I've seen every open practice he's ever done. And again, it's just practice, and that's fair. It's not a real game, but he's been very good in practice. Whether he's been the second team, you saw him this year with the first team. I mean, he was very efficient. He didn't throw very many incomplete passes at very few interceptions. And it's like, okay, he's supposed to look good in practice. Maybe it's going to come back down to earth a little bit in games. Well, Jimmy looks worse in practices. Jimmy doesn't look like that in practices. And they call him a gamer. He's not a gamer. The Niners do everything they can to sort of prop him up. If that's what Jimmy looks like in practices, Trey's already better than him. There's no way that Trey's going to just be this practice mirage, but Jimmy's a gamer. I can't see that happening. I just can't.
Plus, it's funny, that story about his lack of, it was the arm fatigue story and the lack of accuracy. We literally stood next to each other on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. We're standing there. The Tuesday practice was the red zone practice. And I remember commenting to you, man, I don't know that I've seen a Niner quarterback be this accurate in the red zone in a long time. I mean, like going back to like Garcia or something. I mean, it was a long time since I've seen somebody that accurate in the red zone.
You can't say Kaepernick was exactly a red zone superstar. I mean, we remember the Super Bowl.
Right. And even Alex Smith. I mean, Alex Smith would spray it around. So the accuracy that he demonstrated on that Tuesday was impressive. Then followed up to the Wednesday where we saw him throw Russell Wilson like dimes to Ray McLeod and Jordan Matthews, 45 yards down the field on the dead run, the bread basket, splitting defenders.
Back to back.
Your quintessential deep throw, and he threw 2 dimes. Now, could they have been lucky? Sure. It's only 2 passes, but I don't think so.
Yeah. So again, it's when people say this stuff to me, it's people who aren't around, people who aren't watching that want a little attention in the offseason. I get it. People like hits. They got to eat. But Larry and I are there, and listen to what we're saying. Sorry. Give us the hits, not them. Matthew Roberts says Grant looks like Donnie Wahlberg. Love the show. Oh, man. Thanks. I'll take it. All right, moving on. No, we got one from Keneal. Hold on, then we'll move on. Keneal has something on topic. I feel like it's undersold that the youngest quarterback ever with the least amount of experience playing hurt did not look completely overmatched. Trey is him. It's true he was younger than Lamar. And I was looking at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck had a really good rookie year, completed 54% of his passes. He was 23. Lance is 22. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does this year at such a young age. He could be really good. He could be the best 22-year-old. Well, I think Lamar won an MVP at 22. I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll say this too. When I was talking to some people who are scouts who have been on the road going into the draft, they said if you want the quarterback that's going to hit the ground running fastest, earliest, don't take Trey. Trey's going to take time to assimilate to the NFL because of the lack of exposure, the step up in caliber of competition, and that he's not. Everybody, like early on, we're like, this Trey's not the guy who's going to step in and dominate early. But I also got the comparisons to Mahomes that when he gets everything down, you're going to see a Mahomes-like jump because he's got the skill set and it's really important to him. And I think that's what we're going to see this year. I'm not saying he's Mahomes, but I'm saying there's going to be a monumental jump from year one to year two.
I agree. I still keep going back to the Alex Smith comparison. That's what you used to say about Alex Smith. Remember? When he got to Utah, it was a little rough, but once he got the whole thing, he was perfect. And he could never sort of do that with the Niners because they kept giving him a new coach every year for 7 years. But once he got to stay with the coach for a couple of years, he was a good quarterback. I wonder if Trey Lance will start off as that kind of like game manager, a little cautious, doesn't want to turn the ball over. I don't see him lighting it up like Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes came out and was throwing the ball like 40 times a game and threw 50 touchdown passes. I don't think the Niners are going to ask Trey Lance to do that right away. But I think he could get there eventually.
Well, you got to remember this, Kyle. The offense that Alex Smith drove was not this offense. This offense has Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, a handful of backs, a star left tackle. I mean, Trey's not out there by himself, and so I think Trey is gonna have a terrific year this year. I'd be surprised if he wasn't very good.